Hi, I'm Johannes Haushofer from Stockholm University, and I'm going to show you my hybrid setup for teaching on Zoom. The basic principle here is going to be that we're going to use one computer that shows my slides, but then another computer projects those slides both to the projector in the room as well as to the remote participants on Zoom. So let me walk you through the hardware. I'm using my laptop here. That's going to show my slides. And then I have a Bose speaker that's going to send sound into the room for my local students. That's both when I show a YouTube video, for example, as part of my teaching, as well as when the remote students want to say something. And then I have a condenser mic that is also going to be used to help the remote students hear what's being said in the room and hear what I'm saying. So what I'm saying is going to be picked up and then sent to the Zoom meeting with the condenser mic. In order to connect both of those things, you need an adapter for the 3.5 millimeter sound jack on your laptop. In my case, that came with the condenser mic. Otherwise, you can buy it. So I'm going to connect the mic and the speakers to my audio jack on my laptop. So that's the sound setup. Now, to have a nicer picture, I'm going to use my iPhone as a camera. I don't want to use my laptop camera because that's going to sort of film my nostrils from down below. And so instead, I want to put the iPhone on a tripod and have that picture feed into my Zoom meeting. So I'm going to use a software called OBS Camera. You need to pay for that software. It's about $18. So if I start that up, you can see my picture. And I'm going to put that on a tripod. You can see Autumn doing the filming. And connect that with a USB-C cable to my laptop. So now to get the picture from that iPhone into my Zoom meeting, I'm going to use a software called OBS. It's a free software that you can download. And here you can already see the picture from the iPhone being projected into OBS. If you want to set it up from scratch, you would create a new scene and then create a source, select a source, iOS camera within that scene. I've already done that now. And so once you're finished with that, you can start a virtual camera. And that virtual camera you can later pick up in Zoom as an alternative source of video input instead of your laptop camera. Then finally, I'm going to want to show a whiteboard in the Zoom meeting. I don't want to scribble things on the board. Instead, I want to use my iPad to write things down, equations and so on. And so I'm going to use a USB-C cable to connect my iPad to the laptop. And there's an app called Whiteboard. I think it's whiteboardapp.org that I'll use. It's very nice and simple. It's got a nice feature that you can save everything you write as a PDF afterwards and make it available to the students. And so I'll put that next to the laptop here. And to get the picture from that iPad into the computer, I'm going to do the following. I'll start the QuickTime Player app on my laptop. And then cancel out of this opening screen. And then start a new movie recording. I'm not actually going to record anything. I'm just going to set that up. And here you can already see the iPad screen. Normally it would start with a FaceTime HD camera. So now you can see Autumn and me. But instead I'm going to set it to my iPad screen. So now you can see the iPad screen. I'm going to get into full screen. And so now, whatever I write on the iPad, I bought this little stylus that's about $5 that you can use to write on the iPad. So, for example, we're going to talk about the Solo model, so that now you can see that on the laptop screen. And so now let me start the Zoom meeting. Zoom allows you to do personalized links. So my link is stockholmuniversity.zoom.us/my/Haushofer. That's much easier for students to just have to go to one link every time for the meeting. So now the Zoom meeting is set to the laptop camera. I don't want that. I want to show the camera from the iPhone. So down here under video, I'm going to select the OBS virtual camera that I started earlier as the source of the picture. And now you can see Autumn and me much more nicely. And now I'm going to start sharing my screen. And so here I have my slides, so I can now enter full screen mode with the slides, and the students are going to be able to see my slides. And if I want to switch to showing my iPad screen to write math, then I can simply swipe left with 3 fingers, and that's going to bring up my iPad screen, and I can start writing things there. And then to switch back, I simply swipe again. If I want to show a video, then I would switch to my browser. Here's Danny Roderick talking about globalization. And the sound from that is going to go into my lecture theater using the speaker that I set up. And it's going to go to the remote students by being picked up from the room using this condenser mic. And so they're going to hear it as well. So we'll quickly show that.
Over the last 3 decades or so, we have had 300 or 400 million Chinese that have lifted themselves out of extreme poverty, extreme deprivation.
Okay, so that's Danny Roderick. So now let me show you how the remote students are going to see the screen, and also how the students in the lecture theater are going to participate. So instead of projecting the screen from this computer straight to the projector in the lecture theater, I'm going to use a second laptop because that looks much cleaner. So I'm going to log into the same Zoom meeting. And on this laptop, I'm going to mute the sound and the mic. And I'm going to stop the video. Oops. Okay, so now I'm going to switch back to my slides here. So now in this Zoom meeting, you can very cleanly see the slides and me as the presenter. I'm also going to bring up the chat so that I can see the remote students when they write something, and the list of participants so that I can see when people raise their hands. And I'll arrange that around the picture here. And so this is the screen that the remote participants are going to see, but it's also the screen that the students in the room see. Oops, if I set it up correctly, at least. So at the moment I've set it up wrongly, but you can easily mirror these displays so that the students in the room see the same picture that you're seeing here on the screen now. What's nice about this setup is that when a remote student wants to say something, they simply unmute themselves, and then Zoom automatically switches from showing this camera picture to showing the picture of the remote student, like would happen in a normal Zoom meeting. So that's my Zoom setup. I hope you find it useful.